The reputation of MrBeast aka Jimmy Donaldson, YouTube's most subscribed to channel, has thoroughly collapsed throughout the past 3 months, with most of the general English speaking audience recognizing that MrBeast has done a lot of indefensible stuff. However, what bothers me about this whole thing is that apparently when people see this picture featuring a predator defender, and someone who willingly hires predators into their company, they apparently think that the fourth person here in the picture is a saint and did nothing wrong. People are hyping up Chandler as the only good person in the MrBeast crew, and this really pisses me off, cause Chandler, in my opinion, scammed his audience and he tried to cover the whole thing up. He is not the good guy he wants you to believe he is. And this is exactly what I'm gonna prove in this video. But before we get into it, I just want to say massive thank you for the support on the channel. We managed to hit 900 subs, that was my goal for the month of October, and we crushed it in only 8 days. Thank you so much, you absolute legends. My new goal is 950 subs, so if you haven't, please subscribe. Anyway, back to the video. So Chandler Hallow is someone that has been a prominent cast member of the MrBeast channel for almost 7 years at this point, and people perceive him as the only remaining good guy within the MrBeast team. Now, the reason I dislike Chandler from MrBeast of course has nothing to do with his actions in MrBeast videos. He's always been genuine and kind in his public appearances. However, what I do have a problem with is his Twitter and the project he tried to launch on that platform specifically. Now, between the tail end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022, Chandler was known as a big supporter of NFTs on Twitter. He had an NFT as a profile picture, he basically only tweeted about NFTs, and he even launched his own NFT project, that project being the Strange Hands NFT community. On their website, the whole thing is promoted as an NFT and lifestyle brand project. Strange Hands is a combination NFT and lifestyle project. Each Strange Hand NFT is generated from hundreds of hand-drawn assets and each have their own rarity traits. Some are much more rare than others, so be on the lookout for diamonds in the rough. This project is by Chandler Hallow and his friends on the Strange Hands team. The NFT hands are just the beginning, as Strange Hands will transition into a limited edition lifestyle and streetwear brand accessible only to holders. That part never happened, by the way, but we'll get to that later. So essentially, these Strange Hands, of which a total of 3,000 exist, are automatically generated pieces of quote-unquote artwork with a random number of hand-drawn attributes put on each hand. Now, I don't really see this as art, considering the only alleged hand-drawn parts of this thing are the small attributes like that mouth or those hats or that necklace here. But hey, apparently some people liked it. Regardless, Chandler started promoting these Strange Hands all over his Twitter, first publicly revealing that he founded the whole project in December of 2021. Now, Chandler publicly responded to literally every single person that purchased this NFT, showing them love on Twitter and starting to call his supporters the #HandFam. Chandler made this whole thing so prominent that even people like Quebblecop began to publicly support the project. So to summarize, Strange Hands was an NFT project created by Chandler Hallow, which had the utility of giving every Strange Hands NFT owner access to an exclusive clothing brand created by Chandler. Yet everything related to this project has been completely abandoned now. So what happened? So not only does Chandler Hallow not promote his passion project anywhere on his Twitter anymore, but he also deleted most of his tweets referencing the project's existence. The lead artist for the entire project deleted his Twitter, the lead developer hasn't been publicly active on any social media in over 2 years, the brand account Strange Hands also hasn't posted in over a year, most of the related websites are down, and people once closely associated with the project, such as DJ Scheme for example, who even publicly announced a collab with Strange Hands, also deleted all his tweets referencing the project. The Strange Hands Discord, which apparently consisted of around 20,000 members, has now become inaccessible, and all that remains are people on Twitter complaining about having invested money into the project only to discover that the NFT ended up being worthless. They do have a point here, by the way. I mean, looking at this graph tells you everything you need to know about the failure of the project. The entire thing is literally worthless, with the most recent sales going for only around $20. For context, if you were a Chandler Chandler fan in January of 2022, for example, and decided, hey, I'm going to listen to this guy's vision and I'm gonna purchase 5 of these hands, then you would have to spend $1,500 to obtain these 5 hands. Now, if you held on to these hands, they would now be worth a combined $100. That's a net loss of $1,400. Some of these NFTs were sold for around 2.5 Ethereum, which was $8,000 at the time, and they are now only worth $20. So to reiterate, everyone involved with the project either left the internet or they deleted most of their posts mentioning this project. Every single person who invested into this has lost almost 90% of their money, and the whole project has gone completely silent, with a lot of the affiliated websites being down. And Chandler Hallow, the founder of the project, is pretending like this project never existed in the first place. All of this combined paints a picture of either a completely failed project or a malicious scam designed by Chandler to screw over his viewers. Now, why did this whole thing fail in the first place? Well, the first reason comes down to Chandler making false promises. So as a way to get this project off the ground, Chandler started promising very generous rewards for joining the Strange Hands NFT community in order to create the perception that investing into the Strange Hands project would very likely be extremely lucrative for the investor. Therefore, he quickly won over a lot of his fans and got them to buy into the project by announcing that there would be weekly giveaways for the community. Now, with hindsight, we can now confirm that the claim of there being weekly giveaways was completely false and only used to lure people in. Chandler hasn't done a single giveaway in over 2 years, yet he promised to do them weekly as a way to get in investors under false pretenses. In my opinion, guaranteeing that there will be weekly giveaways to launch your project only to then immediately stop giving away anything once the whole thing gets off the ground is definitely a scummy business tactic by Chandler. But it doesn't end here. Chandler has made it very clear publicly that the main real-world utility this NFT gets the holder is access to his brand new exclusive fashion streetwear line. What does being a Strange Hand holder do for you? It gives you access to the exclusive Strange Hands clothing line created by Chandler Hallow. What Strange Hands aspires to do is to become the next underground lifestyle clothing line founded and first lifestyle brand accessible through NFTs, the clothing brand of Web3. As a holder of Strange Hands NFT, you are eligible to purchase our highly limited clothing line. Each month, we will release a new design / clothing with new collabs with different artists. Will only be available to Strange Hands NFT holders. You get the point. Getting access to Chandler's new underground streetwear brand was clearly the main selling point of the NFT. Chandler advertised this as, buy this NFT and you will be eligible to buy my new exclusive clothing as well. Now, I will get to why this whole premise is extremely stupid in just a minute, but the thing I want to point out here is that the buying this NFT will get you exclusive access to the clothing brand claim is completely false. Firstly, the promise of there being weekly drops with the new collaborators every month was never delivered on. Only one collab was ever teased, which never even got released. But more importantly, the entire clothing line only had 3 drops in the 34-month period since its initial release announcement. That comes down to a drop per year, meaning that the claim that there would be monthly releases ended up being yet another lie to lure in investors under false pretenses. But even more egregious is that Chandler's claim that buying the NFT will make you eligible to purchase these clothing line drops also ended up being totally untrue, because when the clothing line finally did drop, they only shipped that clothing within the United States, meaning that, for example, if some random guy in Canada decided to trust his favorite creator Chandler and bought one of these overpriced NFTs in order to get access to the streetwear clothing brand, he wouldn't even have been able to get any of the clothing in the first place. The fact that Chandler constantly advertised this NFT as this gateway to join his brand new streetwear brand without mentioning a single time that if you happen to live like in Canada or the UK or anywhere else that's not the United States, you would actually not have access to anything. It is absolutely shocking and clearly yet another disingenuous marketing ploy in order to get people to invest into the project. So again, Chandler lied about there being giveaways, he lied about the utility of the NFT, he lied about the accessibility of the benefits that came from holding the NFT, and he lied about the frequency of when these benefits came into place. Plus, he followed this up by abandoning the project altogether. Now, all of this combined would already be enough for a compelling video outing Chandler as a bad actor and a scammer, but I haven't even mentioned the worst part yet. The absolute worst thing Chandler did, which directly screwed over every single person that bought this NFT, once again ties into the clothing company. So the only use of the NFT was to gain the ability to actually purchase items from Chandler's new clothing brand. Chandler made it very clear that buying this NFT will result in exclusive access to the clothing. Now, you still had to purchase the clothes, but the whole selling point of the NFT was you being able to buy these special clothes through it, meaning that the value of the NFT depended on the accessibility of the clothing brand. Chandler's clear goal here that he set out to reach by launching this project was to create an exclusive clothing line only accessible to the NFT holders, and normal people being unable to purchase these clothes would not only drive up the value of the NFT, but also massively increase the interest in the clothing brand. So would it then surprise you to find out that when the clothing finally did drop, Chandler not only decided to make it accessible to anyone living in the US, but also he decided to literally give away the t-shirts for free. So not only did Chandler lie about who could buy the clothing brand, lie about the release schedule of the clothing brand, but he also lied about the exclusivity as well. As a holder of Strange Hands NFT, you are eligible to purchase our highly limited clothing line. Each month we will release a new design clothing with new collabs with different artists. It will only be available to Strange Hands NFT holders. Lie, 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 lie. There are 5 lies within the basic sales pitch of the NFT. It is an absolute scam. The worst part about this is that there is probably someone out there living in like Canada who bought this NFT to gain access to the exclusive clothing brand only to find out that he actually couldn't buy it, and also that every single person in the US actually could without even needing to buy an NFT. Like, this whole operation was just such a blatant scam. It is absolutely atrocious that people let Chandler get away with this. And I know that someone is gonna come along and say, how could he be a scammer? He literally gave away the clothes for free. You do not understand. Let me reiterate. The only way to profit off the NFT and the only real use of the NFT was to gain access to the clothing line. By making the clothing accessible to literally everyone, the value of the NFT dropped to 0 because there is now no more use for owning one. Since its only purpose being exclusivity has been destroyed by Chandler making it available and partially free for everyone. It's not the crash of the NFT market that destroyed this project. It was Chandler Hallow himself. He lied about literally every single aspect of the NFT. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think this project was always doomed to fail. Even if Chandler didn't lie about the giveaways and screw over the investors, it would still have failed. Cause the whole concept of the NFT being tied to an underground clothing line is kind of dumb to begin with, which is why I believe that if you actually bought into this and you got scammed, that was due to like natural selection, cause the concept is just so extremely idiotic. Buying a Strange Hand basically granted you entrance to the clothing line, yet where would people have gone from there? By limiting the amount of people who could purchase the clothing, you clearly also limit the number of people that know about it. By keeping this clothing line closed gated, you are essentially preventing it from being able to grow properly, especially since a huge part of the marketing would be getting the investors to actually buy into these products and getting them to constantly wear them to give a spotlight to the clothing line. I mean, maybe if an already established brand decided to do this, it could have worked, even though I imagine you would have to be like in a constant warfare with resellers, but for a new underground brand, this was the worst thing they could have possibly done. I mean, the roadmap was a pretty good indication that this wasn't going anywhere. The other benefits this roadmap lists is a 10k giveaway, which I can't even verify happened since the Discord is inaccessible now, and community movie and game nights. Yeah, that sounds like a sensible long-term investment plan to me. Definitely a lot of great benefits that come from buying this NFT. The funniest thing to me is that the roadmap ends with just another roadmap. Yeah, they definitely have a plan for this project and totally aren't making things up as we go along. So I do believe that Chandler eventually realized keeping the clothing line gated wasn't going to make it popular, which is why I think he made the decision to release the clothing line to everyone and willingly screwed over all the people that believed in his initial project. Because this ended up being his only shot at making the clothing line actually resonate with his viewers and the general YouTube audience. Yet despite him purposely screwing over all the investors in an effort to increase the popularity of the clothing brand, he still ultimately failed to get anywhere with the project, which is why he abandoned it. I mean, have you ever seen a person wearing Strange Hands clothing? I highly doubt it, considering his last drop announcement got a total of 11 likes on Twitter. So at the end of the day, he willingly screwed over all the people that put faith in him by investing into this project for nothing. It's honestly sad, and even MrBeast saw this coming. In promotional articles, they had to specifically mention that the project wasn't MrBeast affiliated. So even the guy that thought it was a good idea idea to hire convicted child rapists at his company was like, well, I'm not too sure about this one, guys. I mean, this tells you all that you need to know. In my personal opinion, Chandler clearly scammed his fans with the project, but there are two more allegations that I want to go over. So let's talk about something that apparently a lot of people are mad at MrBeast for: illegal lotteries. Now, a significant portion of the recent criticism against MrBeast focuses on the illegal lotteries he held apparently in 2020. So MrBeast had these massive giveaway live streams where the only way to participate in the giveaway was to buy a piece of MrBeast merch. Now, apparently people have a problem with MrBeast doing this since it's illegal in the United States, and I do think that that's kind of a redundant law that should be changed, because I do believe that being able to enter a giveaway through purchasing something should definitely not always be like immediately illegal, and the criticism MrBeast faced for these streams should instead have been focused on him announcing winners at random and lying about what exactly you had to do to enter the giveaway. But regardless of my personal opinion, people apparently have a problem with illegal lotteries. Only having the chance to win something after having purchased another thing beforehand seems to be something outrageous to the average person. Now, if you think like that and you think that MrBeast committed a crime by doing this in his live streams in 2020, then Chandler definitely is guilty of the same crime as well, since Chandler hosted a lot of giveaways that required people to buy a strange hand NFT in order to participate. So if you have a problem with MrBeast doing this, you also have to think about Chandler doing it the same way. Anyone that criticizes MrBeast for this but lets Chandler get away with it is just a hypocrite. Now lastly, I want to address the anti-Semitism allegations. So this is apparently the main reason some people are mad at Chandler, which really just shows you how stupid the internet has become. I mean, it only took me like 20 minutes of research to discover all of his lies, yet it seems like people would rather make up anti-Semitism allegations instead of actually looking at verifiably damning evidence. Now essentially what people are mad about is that some of the NFTs had numbers on their hands, which people are comparing to the numbers that were printed on Jewish hands in concentration camps during World War II, and I just gotta say that this is too far-fetched to me. I mean, if Chandler really was anti-Semitic, he definitely would have shown it by supporting certain political figures or political commentators. I don't believe for a second that he put these numbers on NFTs as an Easter egg for like fellow anti-Semites to find. That doesn't make any sense to me. To me, this actually just seems like a massive coincidence. I think it's much more important to actually focus on the false promises and scams. So let's summarize. Chandler Hallow promoted this NFT under absolutely false pretenses. He basically lied about every single thing related to the NFT. He never delivered on any of his promises and intentionally screwed over all of the holders that put faith in him. Now the only question that's left to answer is, did he do it on purpose or was he just naive? If I was really charitable, then I'd say Chandler thought this project was a good way to build a community, but then he later realized that the concept is completely idiotic, so he tried to quickly fix it, and when that failed he had to abandon it completely to avoid bad press. However, I will not be this charitable simply because Chandler never addressed this or apologized. Had he done so, I would have shown a lot of good faith towards him, but instead he tried to delete evidence and pretended like the project never existed in the first place. So what I personally think happened here is that maybe Chandler did want to make this NFT as a way to build a community and make some money with his supporters, but once he realized that the project absolutely wasn't profitable in any way, he definitely willingly decided to scam his audience so that he could walk away with at least some profit. I mean, there are just too many lies and attempts at a cover-up for Chandler to have done all of this unintentionally. In my personal opinion, Chandler Hallow maliciously scammed his audience with this project, and honestly, considering how much he lied, if his terms of service aren't legally backed, he might be in for a couple hundred of lawsuits. I mean, normally I don't sympathize with people that lost money through NFTs idiotically, but this time I honestly think the constant lying warrants people saying that they are victims of a scam. So yeah, Chandler is definitely as bad as everyone else in the MrBeast crew. I think if you want to go with a narrative that one of them is actually morally good, it makes a lot more sense to choose like Karl over, you know, an actual scammer. So if you enjoyed this video, then please share it around. Maybe some bigger YouTuber will pick it up and put some heat on Chandler. I am definitely hoping for it, and yeah, if you haven't already, please sub to the channel, like the video, follow me on Twitter, and also share your personal opinions in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.